Despite being a pretty awful broken game, Mortal Kombat was unbelievably popular, so it comes as no surprise that a sequel was made. Mortal Kombat 2 is still a poor one-on-one fighter thanks to cheating AI, bad collision detection in some places, as well as being a bit stiff, but the fans had spoken. They loved the gore, and it was here to stay. To be fair, Mortal Kombat 2 is much better than the original in all areas. There is now a much larger character roster boasting 12 playable characters, although you could argue that some are just recolored characters with different movesets. The playability is also now much smoother than the first game, and there's even some nice Easter eggs in there. The only official port of Mortal Kombat 2 to home computers was for the Amiga. Truth be told, the loading makes this game a complete joke. I'm serious when I say I had to switch discs 4 times before even starting the first battle. This alone would put most people off. Then there's the broken controls. At least you get to use 2 buttons, although that's still not enough. Most of the time you'll want to do a certain move, but you can't because the AI thinks you should be doing something else. It's a shame because the game looks okay for an Amiga and even sounds okay for the most part. Of course there's a lot of animation and speech missing, but you could live with that. The thing that really kills this port are the loading times and poor controls.
Fatality.
Who would have thought it? Even the Master System received an official port of Mortal Kombat 2, although it's not too good. The use of colours is well done for such a small colour palette, and even the audio isn't that bad. The gameplay on the other hand needs some work. The animation is just far too choppy to be any real fun, plus the lack of background variety, only 2 to choose from, means the game soon starts to lose your interest. A nice enough effort, but ultimately a waste of time. Game Gear port is basically the Master System game squeezed onto a Game Gear's tiny screen. On the plus side, the character sprites now look much larger due to the zoomed in screen, but on the downside, the game now feels a little cramped. And of course, just like the Master System port, there's 4 characters missing. All the ports of Mortal Kombat featured on this video were handled by Probe Entertainment, apart from this one. For some reason the Super Famicom SNES version was developed by Sculptured Software. This time round, Nintendo fans could proudly say that they had a better looking and sounding game than Mega Drive owners, plus they have the gore, which was missing from the first game. It looks as if things were finally on the up for Nintendo fans. Sadly not. This port of Mortal Kombat 2 suffers from slowdown. Oh yes, a beat 'em up with slowdown is just not good enough. A real shame too, as this is a very good port in all other areas.
Liu Kang wins. Fight. Finisher. Excellent. Raiden wins. Fight. Superb. Superb. Finish him. Scorpion wins.
Opinions are divided on the Mega Drive port. Some say the lack of colour and harsh sound adds to the grittiness of the game, while others just plain out say it's ugly and hard on the ears. Personally, I do think the game is lacking in the looks department in terms of colour, graphical detail and animation. However, I do like the audio. What's most important though is the way a game plays, and this is where Mortal Kombat 2 on the Mega Drive shines. Well, as long as you're using the 6-button controller, that is.
Outstanding. Finisher. Fight. Outstanding.
The Super 32X port, or just plain 32X in the West, starts off with the actual arcade introduction, something that is missing from many of the other ports. The use of colour is fantastic in this section. It's just a shame that it wasn't carried through the entire game. This port should have looked as good as the arcade version. It should have sounded as good as the arcade version. It should have had much more animation and speech than it does. Basically, this is a half-assed attempt by Probe Software, and not really that much better than the Mega Drive version, considering the hardware it's running on.
Round 1, fight! Liu Kang wins. Round 2, fight! Finish him. Fatality. Finisher. Win.
PC gamers must have been delighted when Mortal Kombat 2 hit their hardware. Looking very much like the arcade game and playing just as well, this port could be the best home version ever made that wasn't emulated. The only drawback I can find is the music.
Round 1, fight!
The original Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy was a joke, so I didn't have much hope for the sequel. Surprisingly, this is much better. Graphically, it's not too bad, and it even plays well enough despite the lack of hardware power. Unfortunately, it does suffer from 4 missing characters, and only 2 backgrounds, just like the Master System and Game Gear versions. Looking pretty close to the arcade game, you'd expect the PlayStation version to be just as good as the PC port, but I'm afraid it's not. The game has a lot of loading, missing animation, and as default, Shang's morphing is switched off due to the game pausing every time he morphs. This is not a patch on the PC port.
Round 1. Fight! Well done. Get over here! Finish him. Fatality. Finish her. Fatality.
The Saturn port is much better than the PlayStation version. There's still some loading issues, but nowhere near as bad as the PlayStation. The audio quality is higher, as you can clearly hear, and there's more animation. But is it better than the PC port? If you don't mind the slight loading issues, then yes, but it is a very close call.
Fight! Outstanding. Finish him. Fatality. Excellent. Outstanding.